Okay, so now it's being recorded from my side. And okay, so I will start with just a few words. Uh, so good evening, everyone. It's really, first of all, I would like to apologize that we are a little bit late, 50 minutes late, but better later than never. Okay, so first of all, it's a real pleasure to introduce tonight's speaker, Julia Wallis, from United Kingdom. Julia is an accredited and registered electrologist with nearly 40 years of experience, of clinical experience. So she's also an educator and the founder of a private electrolysis and natural skincare practice in the UK, specializing in complex and long-term cases. So today's lecture, Hydration and Electrolysis, Why Water Balance Matters More Than You Think. So Julia will explore the role of cellular hydration, skin barrier integrity, and systematic water balance, connecting physiology directly to everyday electrolysis outcomes. So, Julia, we are very much looking forward to your insights. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you for bearing with us. Technology is not my thing. I don't quite know what happened there with all us, but we're here anyway. So, so I wanted to share something I've noticed with my clients over the years. I say hydration. I mean, we've been taught, get your clients to drink more water, before they come, to hydrate the skin. But that never really seemed to do the trick. For a start, it made the clients uncomfortable and they just wanted to keep going to the loo. The other thing is, some clients sort of didn't want to drink before they come because they don't want to disturb the treatment and things. So I started to kind of look into this, and obviously looking at my observations with my own clients. The only option that we had really to kind of prep the skin was to apply an alcohol-based, white cleanser, something like that. But from what I saw on my clients' skin, for a start, it would dehydrate the skin. The skin would go red. They'd be coughing. I'd be coughing, and I was like, "This is ridiculous. This is not working." So I then would prep like that as I was taught, and then I started to put a hydration spritz actually on the skin afterwards, and that actually helped to kind of put the hydration back. But then I was thinking, well, why are we doing this? It doesn't really work. So so hydration is far more than the amount of water that we drink or apply to our skin. I've prepped a little slide here, so I'm just going to kind of be reading some things from it, so bear with me. So the skin, it's a dynamic, intelligent process that involves water, light, energy, and timing, all working together to support health at a cellular level. And that's what we're really looking at here. It's not just on the surface, it's within. So understanding hydration through this wider lens reveals just how profoundly they influence the skin, our nervous system, immune function, healing capacity, and overall vitality. So the lessons obviously from electrolysis, here we go. The lessons from electrolysis. So I've kind of just explained a little bit about what I was noticing in my clinic on my clients and why it wasn't making sense. So clients are coming in, I see it with mainly sort of PCOS clients, actually other clients as well, but the skin can look okay. It doesn't necessarily look dry or anything, but it's tricky because when choosing probes, sometimes you can't get the insertion right. So you make your probe a little bit smaller to try and get in. It's almost like if the skin is dehydrated, it shrink wraps around the follicle. So it makes it a little harder for insertion. So then you get insertion and you're applying the current, and the current is just drying out what moisture is in the follicle. So then you're thinking, do I need to up my current? Do I need to lower my current? What am I trying to do? And it's just a challenge here. Actually, what this is the skin. Well, the client actually overall systemically and in the skin is dehydrated. So this got me thinking. It doesn't what we're doing doesn't really work. Why are we applying an alcohol or a strong astringent or something based like that on the skin and only dehydrating the skin further? It's making our life harder as a practitioner, but it's uncomfortable for the client. It's challenging all round. It also impairs, as far as I see, healing, that the healing of the skin is delayed. So, so I talked about, then drinking more water and all of that. I observed this was suboptimal. The effect felt, these effects. And I just wanted to find out why. How could I do better for my clients and for my industry? So initially I started, applying a toner. And then I was just thinking, well, why do we strip the skin and the microbiome in the first place? Now, our microbiome is there. We have a microbiome in our gut, but we also have a microbiome on the skin. And that is our first line of defense. So we don't want to strip that away because it's there for a protection. So back in 2017, I started extensive troubleshooting with a lovely friend of mine, amazing friend actually, who makes skincare, but she's also a functional nutritionist, Emma Young. I said she's been great. I talked about what I wanted, what we needed to do. So she helped me formulate a product, which I launched in 2020, actually. And this helped my clients quite a lot. So some of those PCOS clients or other clients with dehydrated skin, I'd apply that, before we started treating. So I don't use alcohol-based or anything like that anymore. And the skin started to slowly, hydrate. My insertions were easier. I could lower my current, and that worked a lot better. And I thought, well, this is great. So it was helping me there. So what I learned along through my own health journey as well was, and it helped me deepen my understanding of hydration, as the foundational principle is not just for the skin, but it's actually all aspects of the human health. So that curiosity ultimately led me into the field of quantum biology. This opened a new perspective on our health, disease, overall wellness, and life in general. The study bridging quantum physics, biology, and spirit. So we'll come on to here. So water as information, structure, and consciousness. I mean, water is everywhere. It is around us. It's within us. And it's the very foundation of life in the human body. Water is far more than a passive substance. It is information, it is structure and living intelligence. So it's not just about us hydrating. There is much, much more to it. And this is kind of where I've been going. So, and learning actually. I mean, even though I've been practicing for quite a few years, it doesn't really matter how long you've been practicing. We learn, and we continue to learn and explore. We learn from our clients, we learn from ourselves. I think having that observational, sort of look, observing our clients, what's happening here, and then thinking about it, right? So why is this happening? What's happening? And that's kind of how I've got down to this path. So around 99% of our body are actually water molecules. Yet its role in health, energy and disease is profoundly underestimated. Water is now understood to exist in multiple phases, so ice, liquid and vapor. And they're lesser known, but really, really important is the fourth phase of water, or exclusion zone water, or EZ water for short. Water and light are inseparable. Water is condensed light, and light is structured through water. Now, I'll go on to explain a little bit more about this as I'm kind of going through here. So basically, water and light are in constant communication, shaping biology at every level. So despite its abundance, I say 99% of our body water molecules are there. Despite its abundance, chronic dehydration or lack of water has become a modern epidemic. This contributes to, obviously, we see it with our clients from when we're trying to do electrolysis. It's tricky to actually, insert, and we need moisture there for the current to flow as well. But more than that, it actually contributes to inflammation, fatigue, autoimmunity, metabolic dysfunction, cardiovascular disease, neurological disorders, hormonal imbalances, accelerated aging, histamine overload, or things like MCAS, which is mast cell activation syndrome, or histamine intolerance, which could be an overload, poor sleep, tissue stiffness, sluggish lymphatic flow, edema, cracked lips, leaky gut, chronic stress, impaired healing, and so much more. The list literally goes on and on and on. So the common belief that hydration is simply about drinking more water is misleading. True hydration occurs at the cellular level, actually within all of us, and that influences every biological action within our body. Water must be structured, charged, and energized. So where we're told, you're dehydrated, drink 3 liters of water, drink more, you've got to do this. It's actually the water that it does depend on the water we're drinking, but it's how our body then utilizes that water to help our health. And obviously, as we're seeing, the skin. So there we go. So at the core, humans are solar powered water batteries. We are literally mostly water, and we are electrically charged, and keeping that balance actually helps everything to flow. So our energy systems are inseparable from the sun, the earth, and the rhythmic cycle of light and darkness. We as humans actually perform a type of photosynthesis similar to plants. Melanin, which it actually acts as the perfect battery. It's like our solar panels. Melanin is a pigment produced by melanocytes, which are in the skin, the hair follicles, the eyes, within the iris, within the eyes, the inner ear, the brain, and the adrenal gland. Melanin protects us against UV and gives us color. It's a transducer which captures electromagnetic radiation, which is light, and uses that to split the water molecules to release energy. So some of this I've gone through. There's quite a few references to or resources I've sort of found all this information out, and some of this was there's a great book called Melanin, the Master Molecule. There is a link at the end of the slide actually, so you can find that. So Earth rotates every 24 hours, essentially, creating predictable cycles of day and night. Over millions of years, this pattern shaped the evolution of clock genes in nearly all living organisms. These clock genes, they establish our circadian rhythm. Now, our circadian rhythm is where we sync basically with nature, what's going on outside. If it's daylight, we're up, our body's working a certain way, and if it's night, it's also doing the same thing. So it regulates our sleep, our metabolism, digestion, hormonal production, immune function, mood, cellular repair, and cardiovascular health. Basically, health doesn't arise from constant stimulation, which is actually what the world we're living in at the minute. We're constantly, always stimulated. It actually emerges from the rhythm balance sort of aligned with nature's cues. So what nature is doing, our body can respond to that if we give our body those chances. So this system is coordinated by the master clock, which is the SCN, or the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is actually in the hypothalamus in the brain. The SCN, or the suprachiasmatic nucleus, actually receives this light. It receives light information through our eyes and synchronizes every organ and tissue. So every cell in the body has its own circadian clock. In 2002, scientists discovered melanopsin. And this is a photopigment found not only in the eyes, but also in the skin. Melanopsin actually detects blue light. So we have blue light all day. Well, I say all days, all throughout the day. We don't have blue light at night naturally in nature, unless it comes from screens, overhead lighting, and things like that. So it's a critical role in circadian synchronization. There we go. Well, let's move on to the next slide. So yeah, talking a little bit, so artificial light and circadian breakdown. So the invention of the electric light came about in 1879, and this altered human biology. So in the last 150 years, it's nearly eliminated darkness. Fluorescent lighting was introduced in 1939, and LEDs became more dominant in 2008. And these basically has transformed our light environment. So unlike sun and moonlight, LEDs lack infrared, and they contain intense spike blue wavelengths. So it's good that we have blue light as part of the full spectrum light during the day, but we don't really want that at night. So basically blue light is never isolated in nature. It always has a full range of, if we go back to the other slide, I think you can see from this slide, it has literally a full range of all different wavelengths, and it's always in harmony, always in balance. So blue light is the reason why I'm going with this, and obviously dehydration of the skin and things in modern indoor living. It's created infrared deficiency and blue light toxicity. So blue light stimulates, is stimulating in a way. It gives us our alertness, throughout the day. Red and infrared light actually heal and repair and support mitochondrial function. So, and that's what we're really looking at is we're going down to the mitochondria and getting everything synced from there. It'll affect all the rest of our body and how we live. So, where are we? Basically, if we have blue light at night, it's telling our brain that SCN, or in a master clock in our brain, that it's midday. So it gets confused. So this will suppress melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone that helps us to sleep, and we need that really to allow our body to properly rejuvenate, repair. It elevates our cortisol and dopamine, so we're getting those hormone releases at the wrong time of the day. It raises blood sugar, and it also accelerates aging as well. So this means that we get poor sleep, impaired cellular repair, adrenal exhaustion, metabolic disease, autoimmunity, attention disorders, and sometimes addictive behaviors as well, where we literally get addicted to, I say scrolling, and the light, because it's keeping us going. Quick fixes. Actually interesting, it was found that shift workers face significantly higher risks of type 2 diabetes, while fluorescent lit classrooms impair children's health and concentration, partly because of the high flicker rates that come from these lights. It's often invisible to the eye, and further stress the autonomic nervous system. I actually, on my private Facebook, actually, I did share a video of our LED lights that we have downstairs. I mean, I very rarely turn them on at night anyway, but when I did turn them on to the naked eye, I couldn't really see much. My nervous system can pick up something, but when I slowed my video down of the recording, you could see it flickering like mad. I mean, it's enough almost to give you an epileptic fit, actually, if you see it like that. So you can check out my personal page if you want to see that video. Where I suppose I'm going with this is from how it's affecting our clients in a dehydration. If we're doing all this, and of course it's affecting our treatments, making it a little bit more challenging, as I explained earlier on. But also it's stimulating potentially more hair, and they have all these health conditions that is just making it worse. So I'm sort of looking at making my life easier. How can I make it more comfortable for the clients, but also long term, if they can make these little changes, half of these things actually, if we sync with nature, are free. It can help their overall health, and hopefully, or actually, I have seen it with some of my clients, start to reduce the stimulation of excess hair. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. I've got another few clients I can discuss that. So exclusion zone water, or easy water, that I explained earlier on. The majority of the water inside our body, it doesn't behave as bulk water. Instead, it exists as exclusion zone. This exclusion zone water was actually discovered by Dr. Gerald Pollack in the 1990s, and it's often called the fourth phase of water. It's a liquid gel, like crystalline. It's forming sort of like a honeycombed shape. It's highly ordered and behaves like liquid light. Easy water forms next to all hydrophilic surfaces, such as proteins, membranes, minerals, and connective tissue. It carries a negative charge, essential for cellular energy. Easy water acts as a semiconductor of electrons, generating energy when exposed to ultraviolet, and forming biological batteries throughout the body. So remember I said earlier on, we are literally water batteries powered by solar. Where are we now? So it basically makes it vital for detoxification, for immune defense, blood and lymphatic flow, cellular integrity. It also functions as a carrier of information, storing memory and transmitting signals through a liquid crystalline network formed by water and connective tissue. This will be our fascia. So our fascia literally is everywhere within our body, and it literally all connects up. Heart coherence. I don't know if you heard of that, but heart and brain coherence. So it's between the heart and the brain and the nervous system. This has shown to increase easy order and coherence, increasing easy water. So moving on. So why modern life depletes easy water? There's so many things that disrupt it. It's just our modern day living that we have. So it disrupts our circadian rhythm. We get chronic environmental and emotional stress, lack of full spectrum sunlight, artificial light at night, or ALAN as they call it, abbreviated to. Wi-Fi, non-native EMFs, tap water, glyphosate, fluoride, heavy metals, and microplastics. Indoor lifestyles with minimal infrared exposure, lack of grounding, air travel, sedentary behavior, surgery, anesthesia, scar tissue, mitochondrial dysfunction. So the loss of easy water actually drains negative charge and collapses cellular energy systems and leads to widespread dysfunction. Hence all the conditions that I was outlining a little bit earlier on. But there are ways that we can build or rebuild easy water and restoring hydration balance. So remember, it's not just about drinking more, it's what we're drinking, when and how. So it really is all in the timing. And Gerald Pollack and his team found the best ways to hydrate. So we have easy water builders, which would be nutritional and mineral rich supports, such as local seasonal foods. This is the thing, we have access to foods from all around the world. You just go to the supermarket, you can eat strawberries in the middle of winter, and you can have coconuts from wherever. So we don't necessarily, we don't live in those countries, and they might not be producing those types of foods, say in the middle of the winter. So our bodies are designed to sync with nature. So we don't want to give a mismatch. Our bodies work better if we stick with what's going on outside. So if you can have local seasonal whole foods, that's great. So as soon as you wake up in the morning, first thing you would do is you would drink. And I'll tell you what to drink in a moment. And then you would have regular sipping throughout the day, easing off in the evening, because if we drink too late at night or into the evening, it actually blunts melatonin, and melatonin is that hormone that we need to help us to sleep well and for our bodies to repair. So you'd want to have ideally filtered, spring, alkaline, diluted seawater, Quinton marine plasma or Quinton isotonic. I actually take this, and that's really helped. I mean, I've had quite a few health issues myself, including mast cell activation syndrome, and a few other things. And by really watching and supporting my hydration, I've managed to calm everything right down. So I actually take Quinton isotonic, which is a diluted seawater, but actually it's the same as our blood in balance. So that's quite interesting there. You can also make up Soleil water. You can make it yourself. You could just look it up for the recipe. It's putting essentially a sea salt into your water. Molten salt is another good one. I use that. Turmeric, and there's a few other foods and things like healthy fats like ghee, coconut oil, organic clarified butter. And these all help to structure our water. So basically where I was saying it's not just about drinking anything. If you structure it, our body can absorb it better. And then with the sunlight, and especially the infrared, it turns it into easy water. And then this is how is I say the gel-like substance, which is everywhere. You need that to be able to for all those little electrical messages to be able to pass through. As we get older, the easy water actually shrinks, so we can help to support and build that. But also we have our lifestyles; it'll also shrink as well. Hence this autoimmunity going on with a lot of people at the minute, hormone imbalance, more people with PCOS, all sorts of things. So we can also, so basically infrared exposure is absolutely essential. Nearly half of the day's sunlight is actually infrared. It's there all day, but it's abundant actually in the mornings at sunrise and also at sunset. We can also get it through saunas, red light therapy, exercise, cold exposure, physical touch like hugging, nasal breathing, drinking warm beverages, and also hot food. Basically, this creates a vortex, or we can create a vortex action in the water. Think of streams. It's always moving all the time, always moving. So we can create a vortex. You can buy little devices, but to be honest, I just use a spoon, or I just stir my bottle, or my drink to create that. You can also add your intention via thought, feeling, and words. This will also structure your water. Some people use crystals. Some people actually pop it out into the sunlight. And grounding, so actually maintains negative charge. We can ground by going barefoot on the grass, or even actually on concrete, as long as it's not a coated surface, that's fine. Touching, trees, anything like that. Being out in nature actually can ground you. So when we're inside, a lot of the time, it basically raises it basically imbalances us, and so going outside to ground actually harmonizes. So I say take electrons from the earth, from the Schumann resonance, they call it, but it helps to harmonize. And actually what is grounding is shown to do as well is to lower blood pressure. And I've tested that as well myself. While UV light generates free electrons. So easy, rich hydration comes from mineralized, structured water. So as this spring water, it can be vortexed. We just need to get it from, but plain tap water is not really ideal. I know we're lucky. I have a water filter actually, which takes out a lot of the nasties, and that's made a big difference to me. Where I was with my mast cell condition, I was having allergic reactions to water, drinking it, but also on my skin and temperature. So I had to change that up. And this is kind of what's also led me down this path through my own health. Now, there's been some research. I don't know if you've come across Masaru Emoto and Veda Austin and Fiona Gardner. They are great people to research, actually, to find out. And their research continues to reveal water as a living, dynamic, responsive, luminous system. So as water flows, we glow. So look at their work. They're amazing. They've done things. Masaru Emoto started off by speaking speaking words into water, and then he would freeze it, and it would come up with all these lovely patterns. If there were nice words, if he spoke not so nice words, the freezing pattern would be not so great. So Veda Austin continued this work, but she's gone a step further with it. So I'd encourage you to look her up. Fiona Gardner actually looks at plasma, blood and urine, actually, but she calls it plasma, and she looks at tiny droplets of it under high microscope, and it shows all these beautiful shapes. But has shown it's, as I said, it's living, dynamic, responsive. So have a look at her work. I won't go into it too much now, but those three have just blown my mind with this. So basically, we want to minimize exclusion zone water destroyers. So reducing your pesticide exposure, your fluoride, heavy metals, especially aluminium, anesthesia, and excessive wireless technology. I know it's hard. It's tricky because here we are on Zoom. We've got Wi-Fi all around us, but as long as we can get outside and put in some other things to mitigate, this will help. So, right, living in the rhythm of or with the rhythm of the sun. This is actually a beautiful picture. I was up at sunrise here. I witnessed this last year, actually. This is my niece. I took a little picture and I thought, actually, I'll share it here because it's so lovely. So our circadian rhythm actually begins just before sunrise. So it'll begin at daybreak. This will change depending on where we live, time of year. Ideally, we want to get up for sunrise or just before. Set that master clock, that suprachiasmatic nucleus in our brain. Set that clock so our body knows what time of day it is, and then each mechanism that we have will start working, and hormonal exchanges will occur and happen at the right time of the day. Here we go. Moving on that. Ideally, you want to be protecting yourself from artificial blue light at night. You also, when you first get up in the morning, is ideally you want to see the sunrise first before you look at your screens and before you raise that cortisol too much to send the wrong signal to the brain. Followed the sunrise comes UVA rise, which is usually about 90 minutes afterwards, and that's really important time as well. The morning light is really key for hydration as well. It stimulates our serotonin and dopamine, so there are happy hormones, and sets you up. So it's very good. Obviously, low mood. Anybody like that suffers. They can't get up in the morning. Actually, they really need to force themselves up and see this. It'll help those, those hormones. This obviously productions through the eyes, and nitric oxide release through the skin. And that's supporting mood, motivation, circulation, blood pressure regulation. We then have solar noon, which is, I say, roughly in the middle of the day, but literally all the wavelengths are kind of in harmony then. UVB drives vitamin D synthesis. You can only get, vitamin D synthesis if you have UVB touching your skin. But you want to prepare your skin first. You must get that sunrise and UVA rise in order to get the UVB. UVB is not around all year either. So ours, if you could see this picture here of, I've taken a snapshot of an app that I have called My Circadian App, that literally tells you, what's going on with with the time of the day. And this one I took last Friday actually, and it just shows that little orange circle that UVB is back, only a tiny little window, of where it is getting slightly longer each day. But I mean, nature's brilliant. It literally builds us, helps us to build gradually, not just suddenly all on. So this will help, obviously, our immune regulation, gut microbiome balance, and endorphin release as well. So a personalized overall solar callus or a tan protects the skin while allowing these benefits, as explored by Dr. Jack Kruse. I suggest looking up his work as well. Sunset is abundant in the red and infrared wavelengths, and they dominate repairing photo damage, expanding our easy water, and signaling the transition from cortisol to melatonin. After dark, I've said block out blue light. That is essential. I mean, here I have my lighting here that you can see. I've got block blue light bulbs and things in as best I can to help with that. So low warm lighting. You can wear blue blocking glasses. I don't have mine on at the minute, but I've got them to hand if I need to stick them on. Covering the skin, because our skin is a receptor as well. So this can actually help, or it can reduce or slow down healing. So where clients, obviously, if they're not blocking blue light at night, that can make a difference to their healing post electrolysis. Reduce your screen use. And when you sleep, your sleep environment needs to be as dark as possible to allow the melatonin support and to support autophagy and apoptosis, immune regulation and cell renewal. So I found, there we go. You can have a little look at this screen. This will tell you what each wavelength will do. They will all help all sorts of, things within our body, not just obviously the infrared, which really, really helps with exclusion zone water building. But have a little look, read at those. It's good if you want to take a screenshot of that as well. So personally, I found with my electrolysis clients, and obviously professionally. So personally, I found my health has really improved in many ways, and I didn't think that was possible. And professionally, obviously with my clients, in fact, so much so I didn't know I'd going to be well enough to go back to work actually, and I had to take 6 months off. But I've managed it by bringing these strategies in place along with a few others. And I've noticed with some of my clients actually that where they've been following some of these practices, their skin heals better. Their hair growth, the excess hair growth actually stimulation has slowed right down. So yes, I'm doing electrolysis, I'm treating it all, but it's helping their health overall, which I think is great. Is a goal, isn't it? And then these are a couple of lovely pictures. Actually, I thought I would share here of pictures that I've taken. The two on the left are sunrise, and the two on the right are sunset. I mean, they're just lovely to look at, but actually the benefits of them are brilliant as well. So, consistency over perfection. Circadian health is built gradually. It must be individualized. I mean, we're all different. We live in different areas, we have different lifestyles, different environmental stressors. So we individualize it. We take into account skin type, genetics, health status, the environment, and stress load. So start by prioritizing natural light before screens, reducing artificial light at night, and spending more time outdoors. So directional accuracy matters more than perfection. Over time, aligning with light, water, and earth restores hydration at a cellular level, and that's what we're looking at here. And this unlocks energy, resilience, health, just as our biology was designed to express. So it'll help, all round really, ourselves, thinking of our work environment, but also our clients as well. So I have these are the resources actually that I pulled on to get a lot of this information. Some of these have really helped with my own health journey, but I've popped the links here so you can have a little look at them. So there's a few books in there. There's some practitioners as well. Now, I have actually written this all up in a full article, and it is on my website. So I've also got some citations on there from some scientific research. So there's one, you can't see this on your screen, I've got that here. So habitual fluid intake and hydration status influencing cortisol reaction to acute stress. So there's that. There are some other links as well. I said it is on my website, so you can go and have a little, read that article. I've kind of gone to it a little bit more detail. I've also put together a guide, a cheat guide for my clients, so they can have a little step-by-step of kind of what to do to support themselves. But so hydration is not just about what you're drinking or how much you're drinking. Sometimes we need to drink a little bit less, but it's or spraying on your skin, but it's about it, how our body utilizes it. And as I said, in electrolysis, I've noticed that the hydration has been the key to everything really, and made a big difference. Well, I say for myself, but also for my clients. So that is it that I wanted to talk about. So hopefully I didn't ramble on too much and it's not confusing, but if you want to ask any questions, then obviously you're very welcome.
Okay, let's see if we have any questions. I really liked the lecture that I even poured some water for myself.
Oh, did you? Did you? As I've got some here, yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm drinking. Okay, so basically I have one question for you. Have you observed differences in treatment outcomes between clients with compromised skin barrier function versus well-balanced skin?
Yeah. Well, I have noticed a difference. So when clients have I say their barrier, when they've come in and they're chronically dehydrated, systemically dehydrated, they get hormonal influences, they might be stripping their skin, doing whatever. It's harder for me to treat, but once they brought these things in place, or these practices in place, their skin naturally starts to improve, without having to use all sorts of different fancy, well, I say fancy, but all these creams and various different things. They've minimalized it. So by getting this, their skin has improved, and overall health actually. So for me, I found it easier with treatment, insertion. I can lower the current down a little bit, but they're just they're better. So I have noticed with a few clients that have brought these practices in place.
Okay, so basically, as you said, you lower your settings. So do you adjust your settings or treatment planning depending on the client's hydration status? And if so, how do you do that?
Yeah, I do actually. So if the client is chronically dehydrated, generally it'll show up in the skin. And yeah, I was explaining earlier about certain PCOS clients. I've got a few clients, and one came actually last week as well, another new one. So her skin was looking okay, but she's covered in hair. And I couldn't get the probe in. It wasn't sliding in properly, so I'd have to go to a smaller probe, but really I wanted to use a larger one. So I spritzed the skin first with my product, which certainly helps. But I know cellularly she was dehydrated. It makes you want to kind of up the current, but then that just dries it out even more. So you have to play around with your currents. But when actually they are properly hydrated, I say on the surface, but actually, within as well, the insertions are so much easier. But also, yes, I've been able to lower the current because there's more moisture there, so it picks up the the current and to get the release. And obviously, moving on from that, clients have be coming back, and actually they're not getting so much stimulation, hormonal stimulation, so not so many excess hairs, whereas somebody who's got, I say, PCOS, you would see that, but it just seems it improves overall everything.
Okay. And in your clinical experience, what are the earliest visible signs that our client's hydration status is affecting tissue response during electrolysis?
Well, I know they're chronically dehydrated just because they're coming in for hair removal. This is clients with hormonal things. I'm not necessarily talking about trans clients or whatever, although they can get a bit of stimulation as well. But just by seeing, depending on how much hair they've got, actually, I can really see that they're chronically dehydrated. What was the last part of that question?
Let me check.
Oh, in their tissue response.
Yes, tissue response.
In the tissue response, yeah. So, oh yeah. So tissue response, it would be just as I was just explaining, sort of trying to kind of insert in that's tricky, not getting the release as nicely as I would like. It's like it shrink wraps round the follicle, so it makes it really, really tight. So I've seen that. Sometimes you can get more redness, irritation. It can respond. Maybe they get slightly larger histamine bumps, afterwards. Although that can happen on anyway. But their sensation, actually, they feel it more. They can find it more uncomfortable. But certainly when the hydration builds, it certainly helps to be putting something on. But if it builds within, they're much more comfortable all around. So then the tissue actually seems to calm down quicker, seems to heal quicker as well. And that's what I've noticed with my clients. So it just makes it all round better all round.
Nice. It's nice. It's very interesting.
Yeah,
And
I think that's it, is when we observing what our clients' skin is doing, what they're feeling, and the feedback as well, is kind of where I've come into this. Well, how can I make it better for them? What's going on here? What's the underlying cause, the underlying problem? So yeah, observation is helps, and then we can think and make a better treatment plan as best we can.
yeah, for me personally, the anaphoresis is a gold thing. When I see a dehydrated client, it does wonders. So if
Right.
somebody is willing to do it, it's really great, because not many of us are using it. So
No.
it really helps. Okay, and let me see if we have. Okay, And the final question would be, if you could give practitioners one key takeaway about hydration and electrolysis, what would it be?
One hydration electrolysis. What I would, basically break it down to the guide that I put together. If a client can be following a step by step as best they can, you'll notice as a practitioner the hydration will just improve and it make your life easier, and for the client as well.
Okay, thank you so much for
Pleasure.
this really valuable lecture of today's. It was actually really interesting to hear, some other topics than just how to do electrolysis, but also the hydration is really interesting. So, what other
Yeah,
things?
I
Yes,
was just going to say, if anybody wanted to, I don't know if I can do this. I was just going to see if I can find my website. And I was just going to pop it on there because I have an article that I've written. Let me see if I can find this. Hold a minute. Sorry, go here. Actually, I can't find it now. Anyway, you can go to, I was going to pop a link to see if I can go to my website, and actually people can go there and read the full article, because there is a little bit more information in there as well. Where are we? If I can, how do I put it in the chat?
yeah, just go back to the Telegram, but not our video recording, but just Telegram app.
Okay, right, there we go.
Or you can
Here we
forward
go.
it
I
to
think I
me.
can do it here. There we go. Right, I think that's it. Okay, there we go. I think
Yeah,
I've done it
yeah,
now.
we have
Yeah,
it.
so there's a link there. People can go there. Eventually, there is a little cheat guide thing that's going to be put on there, but they can read the full article, and also the citations are in there if they want to click into those. And the people that I have followed are really, really interesting, which is why I've pulled this all together, and put it there.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Julia.
Pleasure.
And